When a football leaps into the air, it can land anywhere, on the ground, in a player's arms, or even carve its place in history with a 75-yard flight that changes the game. From helmet catches that defy belief to gravity-defying leaps that leave us speechless, these are the craziest plays in NFL history. First up, in a high-stakes game against the Baltimore Ravens, Patrick Mahomes of the Kansas City Chiefs showcased why he's considered one of the best quarterbacks in the league. With the game's momentum hanging in the balance, Mahomes dropped back and unleashed a 75-yard missile. Tyreek Hill, the Chiefs speedster, was on the receiving end, catching the ball in stride and leaving the Ravens secondary in his wake. This wasn't just a long throw, it was a game changer, solidifying its place in the annals of the craziest plays in NFL history. Speaking of game changers, Eli Manning's postseason heroics are the stuff of legends. The 18-0 New England Patriots came into this game as overwhelming favorites. No one in their right minds picked the Giants to win. The Giants, on the other hand, were the 5th seed in the NFC and coming off a narrow overtime victory over the Packers in the NFC Championship game. It was a very low-scoring game heading into the final 2 minutes. The Patriots led 14-10. The Giants got the ball back on the 16-yard line with the opportunity to win the Super Bowl. The drive almost came to a tragic end when cornerback Asante Samuel had the ball in his hands, but luckily for Eli and the Giants, he dropped the game-winning interception. Then, the following play would send shockwaves around the world. The Patriots' defense had Eli Manning within their grasp, ready to sack him, but somehow he managed to pull away and throw a 40-yard bomb to David Tyree, who caught the ball in his helmet with a defender all over him. The Giants went on to score, becoming champions, and the helmet catch would go down as one of the greatest plays in NFL history. From one legendary run to another, in a divisional showdown between the Tennessee Titans and the Jacksonville Jaguars, Derrick Henry etched his name into NFL folklore. Starting from his own 1-yard line, Henry took the handoff and began what would become a legendary run. One by one, defenders tried and failed to bring him down. Covering 99 yards, he showcased strength, speed, and determination in equal measure. By the time he reached the end zone, it was clear this wasn't just a touchdown. It was an NFL masterpiece, worthy of any highlight reel. But before the NFL, college football had its share of jaw-dropping moments. Before becoming the face of the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson was turning heads at Louisville. In a matchup against Syracuse, Jackson gave fans a glimpse of his future NFL stardom. With the ball snapped, Jackson took off, weaving through the Syracuse defense. But the defining moment came when he approached a lone Syracuse defender. Instead of sidestepping, Jackson leaped, hurdled over the defender in a gravity-defying move, and continued his sprint to the end zone. It wasn't just a college touchdown, it was a Heisman-worthy play that NFL scouts couldn't ignore. And while we're on the topic of game-changing plays, OBJ's one-handed grabs are like the most of this generation. Did Odell create the one-handed catch? Obviously not. Did he change it forever? Well, you know the answer to that. And he did it with just one catch in one hand, falling perhaps the greatest catch ever. But that's far from the only time OBJ did the unthinkable. It's like he salivates when the quarterback skies a ball that looks out of the reach of everybody. Maybe Eli Manning should be actually credited for the one-hand catch craze. The reason Odell makes it look so easy is partly thanks to his outrageously large 10-inch hands. For reference, LeBron James, 9 inches taller than OBJ, only has 9-inch hands. OBJ has changed football forever. Everybody's trying one-handed catches in practice, in games, and even at the younger levels. Before every game, you'll see receivers warming up and trying to replicate Odell. It's to the point where receivers started to practice one-handers on the jugs machine, but none of them are quite like OBJ in his level of flair. But Justin Jefferson's craziest play won him an award. With them going up against one of the best defenses, scratch that, best teams in the entire league, on 4th down with Jefferson's squad losing, this was his final chance for a nearly impossible win. Just like that, he made a nearly impossible catch, one-handed, to save the game, and eventually it led to them winning. That play was crazy, but don't take it from me or all the fans praising him in the comments section. The NFL's award show made things official. He said, "Always dreamed of this moment, making these memorable plays. Always gotta thank the man upstairs for allowing me to pursue my dreams." Up next, in a game that already had its share of highlights, Jerome Simpson of the Cincinnati Bengals added a touch of the extraordinary. Facing the Arizona Cardinals, Simpson caught a pass and sprinted towards the end zone. But as a defender approached, instead of sidestepping, Simpson took to the air. In a move that seemed to defy physics, he executed a perfect front flip, landing squarely in the end zone. The crowd erupted and replays of the flip played on loop, leaving fans and players in shock. This wasn't just a touchdown, it was a balletic display of athleticism forever etched in the annals of NFL history. But sometimes it's not about the flips or the leaps, it's about sheer determination and skill. One of the main things that make an important match interesting is making a great catch. This one by Jermaine Kearse against the New England Patriots certainly fits in this category. This is another example of how winning or losing doesn't matter much as long as you play exceptionally well. This was the case with the match as well, even though the team ended up losing the game. This amazing catch by Kearse showed off a ton of body control, quick hands, and some great reaction time. Kearse went toe-to-toe with Patriots defensive back Malcolm Butler to try to catch the ball, which forced it to bounce just out of his reach as the two fell to the ground. But surely that didn't make him give up on the game, for he had the ball in his lap before it bounced up again, and after that, he'd snatched it out of the air to complete the play. Talk about having a knack for the game and the art of playing. From determination to sheer power, the next stud was stampeding over players like a rabid bull in Pamplona during the 2010 playoffs. Marshawn Lynch executed a run like he was a human freight train, plowing through defenders like they were just tiny speed bumps on his way to the end zone. The run, which covered 67 yards, ended with Marshawn Lynch diving into the end zone while grabbing his crotch like a superhero, signaling, "This is where I keep my beast mode powers." The crowd celebration was so intense that it registered as seismic activity in the area surrounding the stadium. This unforgettable play, known as the Beastquake touchdown, marked a turning point for the Seattle Seahawks franchise. The Seahawks went on to grow into the best team in the entire NFL, winning Super Bowl 48 and then earning another opportunity the following season as well. But sometimes it's not about the runs or the catches, it's about that one kick that can change the course of a game. The Baltimore Ravens and the Detroit Lions were locked in a nail-biter. With seconds left on the clock and the game hanging in the balance, Justin Tucker stepped up for what seemed like an impossible field goal attempt. From 66 yards out, Tucker unleashed a kick that soared through the air, clearing the crossbar with inches to spare. The stadium went silent, then erupted. Tucker had not only won the game for the Ravens, but had also set an NFL record for the longest field goal. It wasn't just a kick, it was a moment of sheer perfection, a testament to Tucker's skill and composure under pressure. However, this next one is not even less crazy. The San Francisco 49ers were in full throttle against their opponents, and Brandon Aiyuk was at the heart of the action. Receiving the ball, Aiyuk sprinted down the field, eyes set on the end zone. But as defenders closed in, he did the unthinkable. Channeling his inner athlete, Aiyuk leaped, hurtling over a defender in a move that seemed to defy gravity. It was as if he hurtled over the moon, landing gracefully and continuing his sprint to score a touchdown. The crowd went wild and the play became an instant classic. But this next play was only possible because a dude was high on cocaine. In overtime, the Bears blocked Chester Marcole's kick. He caught the block kick and ran it for a touchdown, winning the game against the Packers, their arch rival. Mobbed by fans on the field like a hero, the whole play was like, is this really happening? I think everybody says this is really happening. It was a different play. You can't script that kind of stuff. That second half, he was high on drugs. A month after that memorable play, it was all over. The Packers cut Marcole because of his drug use and erratic play.